Hey, it's the Low Life Podcast.
Do you know anything about hackers? Can you jam the pumps on cowboys and cyberspace? Ever read Neuromancer? Ever experienced the new wave? Next wave? Dream wave? Or cyberpunk? I didn't think so. In there, it's a world where you are doing the same thing. Don't know what you look like. A world where curiosity and imagination.
I'd buy that for $1. Hack the planet! Hack the planet! Hack the planet! Hack the planet! Shut up and get in the car!
Go away, Baton.
That's what they want to hear.
Man, beautiful, beautiful.
The people what they want.
Oh, that was a yummy one.
This is the Low Life Podcast. And sorry about that. That was supposed to go differently.
More like the High Life podcast, am I right?
Hey, buddy. So for those of you tuning in, this is a podcast about a modern day dystopia or something, or like how the cyberpunk books we read when we were kids is already happening, or the fact that fucking Blade Runner was 5 years ago. This is your
God,
boy,
fuck me.
Coin Officer McGillicuddy. Yeah, this is the second episode we're recording today, right? Shadowlink.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed that last one. Andrew McGee rules.
Yeah.
Cannot wait to see what else he's got coming. Definitely want to have him back on the podcast. Super fun.
Watch Venus.
Watch Venus. Yeah, go look that up. Go to Dust on YouTube and search for Venus and enjoy. I'm here with Shadowlink, as I mentioned, and also Scum
Hello, I am in fact alive.
and Zero.
That's so good. I'm so glad to hear that.
Yes.
That's good news, man.
You were napping all day. I'm mad. It's Zero.
Welcome back again, intrepid listeners. Sorry you found us again.
Yeah, it keeps happening.
Mm-hmm.
We have stuff. We're just going to right off the top mention we've got a Patreon. If you like this stuff, we have a place for you to possibly, maybe if you would like, give us $1 a month. It's your business. We're not going to tell you what to do, but it'd be really silly if you did.
Well, I will. Buy, consume. Also,
and we do that so that we can avoid having to take, sponsorships from fucking people who might try to exert a certain sort of influence on our subject matter.
Yes, that's right.
Do we have one, Zero?
We do, in fact, have another
Here's an
applicant
example.
to be a sponsor. Let me take a look here. This one is Knots Ending. It's a wedding services company, Knots Ending.
That sounded like you were going to go a different direction with that.
A new high-end wedding services provider by newcomers to the field, Raytheon and General Dynamics.
Huh?
They
Okay.
plan to corner the market by offering a new service. Knots Ending guarantees to stop any wedding anywhere on the globe.
So you don't even have to show up to the wedding, and then like when the officiant says, "Speak now or forever hold your peace," you could just like send a predator into the fucking cake.
Well, I mean, it's the newest in, what's it say here, Jim? Yeah, leverages the newest in drone technology, tried and tested on the battlefields of Iraq and Afghanistan. Now at your fingertips, Knots Ending.
Ooh,
Wow.
that's dark.
yeah.
That's for the 21st century graduate fan.
Jesus, damn.
Wait, so you're telling me through the sheer force of money, I can turn any wedding into a crater?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, tried and tested.
Yes.
Yeah. God, wow. Yeah.
So that's
I'm
why
I'm going to say hard pass. I'm glad.
Yeah, we'll vote against that one right now. I
How
guess.
much? How much would
Ladies
these
and
guys be
gentlemen.
paying us a month, anyways?
Your small donation can keep people like this off of our influence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My handlers at the CIA also would like to know how much they're offering.
Yeah, there's a 0% chance that there's a file on me, but it isn't them that has it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're on a watch list. Podcast is on a watch list somewhere.
We can only hope if we do it right.
Most
We should
assured.
do a live show and then count the amount of like dudes who are dressed exactly like me and know that they're all feds.
They're all wearing Zubas.
No, oh boy, yeah. Did we have that? No, that was way off mic beforehand. We were talking about
Yeah.
how
Oh, God.
Zubas were replaced by like Jenkos in the mid '90s. Like, and I'm getting it wrong because now I'm thinking like Zubas were actually probably bigger at the end of the '80s, but they did.
Yeah, it was like
See,
early 90s.
But being from Youngstown, everything lasted 5 extra years. Like we didn't get into like, we got into like Nirvana late. You know, like it was like
we went where I lived. We didn't really have we weren't on the cutting edge of pop culture either.
yeah, we were like
You
third
guys
city
remember
Ricochet,
Napoleon
right?
Dynamite?
Yeah,
It's kind of like Napoleon Dynamite. It's a lot like Napoleon Dynamite in a lot of ways, really.
but I could throw this over that fucking mountain. So basically, this episode we are going to jibber jab about a few kind of recent news stories and like
NewsMash.
Yeah, it's-
Newsmash? Newsmash.
News-
Typo.
News
Sorry.
Smash,
Newsmash.
News Mash,
News Smash?
Newsmash.
My God.
Newsmash.
If we keep saying it, it'll get funnier.
It'll make less sense.
Yes.
Trying to fix the
Yeah, it'll.
So this News'em Ash,
Wow, I hated that.
yeah,
Yeah, that the word you said, it sounds all weird now.
we're gonna turn back the cut. We know it's been a minute, and that's like part of the reason why we wanted to kind of get a couple episodes in.
Yeah.
Telephone episode will be soon, we swear.
We are working on the telephone episode. I have
Yeah,
a
we were all like kind of sick. Well, I wasn't sick, but I had device
I'm not gonna
hardware
lie.
difficulties.
Well, that happened, but like my big problem has been basically like I can't find any like good books. Like I'm looking on used book sites and stuff like that, and there's like all of them are really like partial to Bell or like it's all this like weird fluff shit. And so I'm gonna actually go to the Library of Congress, hopefully before the government implodes. And
Oh, yeah. I want to tell you guys too. I've been working on trying to get the analog telephones that we're supposed to record this on to hook up to Zencaster. I haven't been getting very far with it.
yeah, it's hard. That's
I-
hard.
I think that's what I understood from the notes, right?
we all need a bunch of like weird
Yes.
guitar pedals and just
Yeah.
plug our mics into that. Anyway, one of the stories, the first one we're going to get into, everybody knows about it. Everybody knows about it.
Everybody knows about it.
It happened toward the end of February, like the weekend of the 24th and the 25th. Promotional material, and I am not going to lie to you. I am literally, because this has been so heavily reported on, I'm just going to the Wikipedia page, which is pretty fucking thorough, given how quickly this like all blew up.
Yeah.
There was a promotional material that had advertised a, quote, stunning and intricately designed settings inspired by Roald Dahl's timeless tale and, quote, an array of delectable treats scattered throughout the experience. It was Willy's Chocolate Experience.
I'm so ready to
This
play this person alive.
is a better title for a porno.
I'm pretty sure this event ended his marriage.
It's a better title for a like song specifically from 1973.
I'm going to
Like
say
that would be a
there's a
perfect song.
non-0% chance that there is a porno movie out there on film somewhere that was called Willy's Chocolate Experience.
I just,
Yeah.
basically, y'all know what it was. It was like the Fire Fest of like fucking over families at
Of amusement
$45
parks.
per person.
Yeah.
Firefest
Yeah.
of Instagram experiences, which are basically sold to people over social media based on a tiny thumbnail. So
Yeah.
that's
Right.
a big part of this to begin
I
with.
really love
Now, but
go
let's start like so. This idea of like, okay, so some people might not be familiar with the concept of like an Instagram experience, and it's a place you go where you take fucking pictures of yourself for your feed, basically.
So basically, a really boring amusement park.
It literally is. Like there's
looking at
one in DC that was literally just like a bunch of mirrors and shit. Like you went into a room and it was just a shit ton of
Well,
mirrors.
here's the thing: it's worse than that.
Okay.
I'm looking at a Vox article on like the breakdown of it, and basically, this dude, it advertised it as a Willy Wonka experience, all caps, but they use AI images to say this is what it's going to look like.
Well, yeah, this is what it's going to look like.
They didn't. He didn't say it was going to be a Willy Wonka experience.
Yeah, because I was going to ask, does he even have the rights to that?
He hired
No,
three
Mike,
different
no.
actors to portray the character Willie McDuff, a character based on Willy Wonka, and also this is taking place in Glasgow, Scotland.
It's the Scottish
So-
Willy Wonka.
It's a Scottish Wonka. And the event was organized by this fellow named Billy Cool, Coull, not cool, definitely not cool. And he had his company is basically called House of Illuminati, which is actually even less cool. Like it's not. There's like he wishes he was doing like Wayfair child trafficking. He wishes this guy was basically just kind of like an NFT guy.
He's an AI scammer, right? Like, this, how many books does he have on fucking Amazon? They're like AI
17,
Jeez.
and they're all AI
Yes.
generated, and they include like vaccine conspiracy theories.
Oh my god!
Oh, fantastic. Great.
He had also registered like several other companies and claimed to work as a consultant for the now defunct brand Empowerity. It's
Okay.
Empowerity. I hate that. More than you know.
Yeah. Just
My right foot is curled into a fist. In 2021, he co-directed a now defunct Glasgow food bank. Which, all right, how did you like?
How did you fall to evil so quickly? Like, that's actually pretty cool. Like,
Well, I think I remember
Like
reading
it,
about that,
on
and
the
it was
surface. There's a footnote. I don't know. I'm not
barely a food bank by like
Yeah,
standards.
oh,
probably
fuck,
the same
really?
as this thing, right?
Oh,
Because
probably.
Rolling Stone concluded that the organization's websites and event descriptions for the Willie's Chocolate Extravaganza or whatever were likely written by an AI chatbot such as ChatGPT. So, like, he's not. Anyway. So actor Paul Connell said that the cast were given one day to learn the script. Another actor playing Willie McDuff was 18-year-old Michael Archibald. The experience was his first ever acting job. He was given the script at 6 p.m. on Friday before the event began on Saturday.
Nice.
I
wow.
reading that, I developed an ulcer.
Oh, that poor kid.
Because I'm not. That's not my strong point. Like when I like did shit for like in college when I was doing that little teeny tiny bit of acting, I was literally trying to learn my lines like moments before we shot.
Yeah.
Like I got it, I knew what was going on, but I was not going to memorize the entire script.
That's not the same as a live performance. When you're doing a live performance, we
get to do some takes.
no.
This is different. This is. I could feel the stomach acid burning through my stomach and
I'm seeing the
into
pictures of like the setup compared to what was advertised, what like between what the parents saw when they bought the tickets, which were
like,
all AI generated, and then what
like
they
you said,
got.
the pictures
it's
were
sad.
AI generated, the scripts were AI generated, and the scripts also had like stage directions and effect directions.
Wait. It gets better. Wait, hold on. So the script for the event is titled Wonka Doodles at McDuff's Chocolate Factory, a script.
Oh.
Just I let it pass through. Pat, let it pass through. Okay, so
Sorry, I glitched out there for a second.
this is
rough.
where it gets even better. So like it describes McDuff leading the audience through the Garden of Enchantment in the Twilight Tunnel. Once there, the group are confronted by a character called the Unknown, described as, quote, an evil chocolate maker who lives in the walls, end quote, who seeks to steal the magical, quote, anti-graffiti gobstopper from McDuff's imagination lab. The gobstopper is, quote, a sweet so powerful it can make any room sparkle without lifting a finger. Look, LSD exists.
What? Yeah, this is.
I mean, don't
What
give it to your
kind of
kids, but I'm just saying
shit is
that's the
this?
only thing I've ever had that's like, wow, you know.
All I'm thinking about is now is like Stephen King's The Outside. What's his name? The Unknown. All I'm thinking of like
Yeah.
Stephen King's The Outsider.
Ugh.
Like,
Yeah, no.
What?
So I mean, like, of course, AI would be like the unknown. That's the scariest thing. Everybody says it's the scariest. Anyway, Macduff defeats the unknown by amplifying the power of the gobstopper and causing his enemy to be, quote, gently swept up by a robotic vacuum, humorously ending the confrontation. Now, this is my favorite part. The script was unusual in that it included stage directions for the audience and descriptions of their reactions.
Audience laughs.
I know.
please clap.
Oh,
It's
God.
clap, right?
Oh fuck.
Like the Dean scream, you know, like, ah!
Yeah.
Connell described it as 15 pages of AI-generated gibberish of me just monologuing these mad things, and compared the vacuum cleaner plot point to the video game Luigi's Mansion. Interviewed after the event, Cool claimed to have written the script himself using AI only to check spelling, grammar, and continuity. Now, I'm going to back up a bit, because we got to talk about the fucking hero of this.
Yes, we do.
Actor Kirsty Patterson, who played one of the Oompa Loompas called Wonky Doodles in the script, said that the job offer had been posted on Indeed.com and offered £500 for 2 days of work, which, you know,
That's
Not bad.
yeah.
That's a
not
pretty
bad.
good haul.
That's not if he paid. Anyway,
Yeah,
the day before the event, the actors entered a dress rehearsal at the sparsely decorated venue. They were told that others would be working through the night on the production. When they returned on the day of the event, the venue was at the same.
Brutal. I'm looking at pictures of the venue.
Oh, but wait. No.
Mm.
Kirsty didn't get her fucking costume until an hour before the event opened, saying
Holy
that,
shit.
quote, we were just handed an Amazon box that probably arrived that morning.
Wow.
Whoa.
Now, she's the hero because it didn't even fucking slow her down. She's like been doing stuff on what is that
Cameo.
Cameo. She's on Cameo.
Okay. All right.
You know, she made a profile for herself. She's turned this into something.
She's
And
getting work.
I followed her on Instagram, and I was watching some of her, like, after this happened, like some of the videos are fucking adorable. Like, she's like, what gusto? That's that, you know, like I'm rooting for you, kid, kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, Kirsty Patterson rules. What else? The event was a disaster. I mean, it was.
Oh
That
yeah.
was-
How?
It was at the Box Hub Warehouse event space in Whiteinch, an industrial area of Glasgow. Customers described the venue as little more than an abandoned, empty warehouse.
Yeah.
Set,
Fucking
with set dressings, including a small bouncy castle, AI-generated backdrop images pinned to some of the walls, and props which were strewn about on bare concrete floors.
wow.
The venue's windows were dirty, and its air conditioning systems were left exposed.
Fuck, man.
You could have just come like to the back of our garage in the 90s when we were learning how to DJ. It would have been better.
Oh. And what
More
were these
authentic.
parents and children promised when they would arrive for, like, let's say
Well,
sustenance?
no, hold on. We got some more here. Like, so Patterson had stated by the time she saw the venue, she'd already signed her contract and didn't want to disappoint the kids. And, thus
Aw.
and here's the thing: there's
Aw.
always that she got famous because that photograph of her looking just
Yeah.
done,
Yeah.
Yep.
just done, like italics, boldface done, and. But there were other photos that came up where she was really trying to like fucking hey kid. Like she was helping the kids out. She's like, I'm not gonna fuck these kids over. You know what I mean? Like they're good. They are innocent. They expected something more.
Aw, that's sweet.
You know, and she did the best they could.
And to be fair, when you are a child, that is kind of like a you more or less have an AI image generator for a brain at that point.
That's the kind of formative image, like event that happens when like that's like me being like 12 and going to like Kings Island when someone fell off a roller coaster and died.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like they're not going to, unfortunately, they're not going to forget this, but I'm glad that there were people who were like, because, you know, you go to these, you're a parent, you want your kids to have a nice day. You want something fun that maybe you can do too. Like,
well, we got to talk about the unknown.
let's, do we fucking have to?
We have to.
We do.
Oh, no.
And because
As long as it's a known unknown.
it is, and it's fantastic. The unknown was played by a 16-year-old actress named Felicia Dawkins, who wore a silver mask and a black cloak. Children were frightened by the character, who appeared from behind a large rectangular mirror. Despite the script calling for the unknown to be defeated with the vacuum cleaner, no such prop was provided, and actors were asked instead to improvise.
Improvise.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, when you said that, I was like, how are they going to pull that off exactly if they don't have shit?
Let's, a lot's been said about, like
They just drag him off
the original Willy Wonka is the shit. The one with Gene Wilder, that's the shit. Okay,
Yeah.
it's a great movie.
It's terrifying.
It's terrifying. We should not have seen it in third grade. As the school assembly, everybody's like, "Oh, this one's about candy. This will be fucking great. Roll ball's great." And then
Well, then you nightmare
boat
portion.
scene. Yeah, you get the boat scene, and then you get all the kids dying, and you're like, "What the fuck is happening?" Where's OSHA? The subsequent ones, I don't.
It's just like real life. You don't think about the people who die in front of you.
Yeah, and I don't connect to the reboots either. I don't care.
Yeah,
But, I mean, this was obviously trying to cash in on the Timothy Chalamet, movie that had come out.
And I will say that. I mean, I did kind of like the Tim Burton one a little bit, but I was also 13 at the time. So.
Right? No, and that's what it's for. And I wasn't, I didn't see it because I'm an old fuck. Like I'm. Like, are they dying in this one too? Doesn't mean it better.
Definitely more slave labor in that one.
Grandpa Joe's a piece of shit. Moving on.
Yes.
The whole thing about all of these movies is that it's very here. Look at the candy, especially in the OG one. It's just like Jesus. Look at this stuff. Look at the river of obviously not diarrhea. It's just clearly chocolate chip. It's the river of Yoo-hoo.
Yeah.
The gobstopper looks like a little whatever. Fucking fucked up dice thing, all this is going on. You would think that if you go to an experience that's riffing on this, they'd have tons and tons of candy for you, right? At the very least.
At the very fucking least. God, you're going to tell me that there was no candy or there was very little candy.
It would have been better if there were no candy.
Did they just Can they do that thing that the worst people on Halloween did and just give these kids a fucking popcorn ball?
It would have been better if they were given nothing because now then they would have a lesson in disappointment.
Can I tell them?
That wouldn't have been this is. I don't know what kind of pandering this is. I don't know. This is desperation. I don't know what this is. I really don't. I've been trying to think about it, and I feel for all of the actors that were involved in this disaster because they were told to give each child, quote, 2 jelly beans and a quarter of a cup of lemonade. And they ran out of jelly beans.
What? That's literally one bag of jelly beans. One pound bag of jelly beans. What the fuck is that shit?
That's mentally. You know what? No, I take it, but this is mentally scarring. Yeah.
Yeah. Holy shit.
And those are for the people who actually got to see the show. Because here's the thing. Patterson and another Wonkadoodle actor, Jenny Fogerty, said that after the first 3 45-minute performances, the cast were told to abandon the script and instead let guests walk through the venue. A process that Patterson said took about 2 minutes.
Right.
The character of the unknown previously introduced as the main antagonist was now scaring children for no reason. One of the actors playing Macduff improvised the idea that the children should pull a silly face at the unknown to scare them away, but Dawkins said that in other cases, she just had to awkwardly walk back to my corner.
Jesus Christ. Oh,
wow.
Man.
I am finished now.
They were told they were going to be given a 15-minute break every 45 minutes, but they worked 3.5 hours without a break.
Fuck.
After coming back from a lunch break, they encountered a crowd of customers demanding refunds from Cool, and the other actors were unsure what to do next. After being told that the event was now canceled halfway through its opening day, the actors left and went to a pub. Relatable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Christ.
Jesus fuck. And then, upon returning to the venue sometime later, which means they tied one the fuck on, Connell said that he felt the threat of violence had become quite high and that there were 2 police vans and 2 squad cars at the scene.
Yes, I forgot about that. Someone called the fucking cops.
Yeah.
This was so bad. Someone had to get the police involved.
So, basically, it was criticized, many demanding refunds. One customer who had driven with his children for 2 hours to reach the event called it an absolute con. Other visitors who arrived after the event was closed and were not informed of its cancellation requested compensation for wasted rail fares. Following the event's cancellation, Cool offered to refund 850 people. And Peterson Fogarty would later state that they had received half of the £500 due to them.
Holy shit!
What is? Wait,
they didn't. Yeah, they got half. They did work with like one day before the thing got shit canned. So I mean, in the shittiest way possible, that makes sense. But also,
how
you signed a contract for 500 and they showed up.
How did
you fucked up? Not
any of this happen? How did any of this happen?
I just found this out too. It was $40 for entry.
45. Yeah. It was like 35 pounds or euros.
Well, like
that's.
I keep saying pounds. It's probably euros.
Well, this is like compared to Fire Festival a lot, but listening to this story, like actually listening to it just sounds crazy. It sounds like something that a crazy person would do. Like this is a crazy person's version of a scam.
Why would he think this would be okay?
That's what I'm saying. Reading everything that happened, I'm like, how much cocaine was involved for this guy to think he's going to open the door and present this to people? It's
insane.
This, not in touch with reality.
Like, if this sounds like it has a lot of similarities to stage play, and the amount of prep that, like, just that alone, you're talking costumes, you're talking sets, you're talking script, which he obviously thought if it was that easy to write a script, like this is going to just manifest itself. It's that's the whole thing. I mean, there is an upshot. Some items for the event here there was a fundraising bit at the end. Connell, the one guy that played whatever Wonka wannabe
McDuff's.
He and the other actors were working with parents to provide a free show for the children who attended. And then some of the events from the event were later auctioned for charity. The venue auctioned the leftover handwritten event canceled sign, raising 850 euros for a local children's hospital, while the Monorail Music Record Store in Glasgow. So shout out to Monorail Music Record Store in Glasgow. They auctioned 2 of the backdrops, quote, rescued from the bin by a pal of the shop for 2,250 euros, with the proceeds going to the British charity Medical Aid for Palestinians.
That's pretty great.
That's awesome.
Monorail Music, shout out.
Fuck yeah.
Fucking get
rescued from the bin.
So
but here's the thing though. The reason why I kind of wanted to talk about it is like we all knew that stuff and it's fun to have a laugh about it. But like this idea, this tech brained idea that you can like literally like here, ChatGPT, do something that is like legally not actionable.
Yeah,
by the owners of Willy Wonka.
Fix my life for me, please.
Well, this is what I don't understand is how like tech brained do you have to be?
It's clearly not a reader.
Oh,
yeah.
To think that any of this would
like you could get away with any of this.
Yeah, get away with it, be societally acceptable.
You know, I told a story a bunch of episodes ago, and I think it applies here. When I was a little kid, there was a section of the freeway that was near my house, and I thought that we would be able to get a bunch of those big washing machine cardboard boxes from around the city and form a fortress there, where we could basically get all our friends together and have this like walled mini city for little kids to hold their bikes in. And then whenever crime happened, we'd get on our bikes with slingshots and we would go stop the crime in Youngstown in the early 80s.
Sure.
Man. Oh, God.
And then that entire idea, though, see, fortunately, I had someone around that I trusted and loved, like my dad, who said, what happens when it rains? And I found out because we had a, washing machine box and I'd been playing in it, and then it rained and the thing was just like...
this sounds like that.
This guy just didn't have like someone around to be like, hey, what happens when like you don't provide any of the things you're promising?
Well, it's
where's your set?
Because reading more about this guy, he's a serial AI scam artist. Besides this whole event that he put on and offered, what he offered, he's got something like 16 or 17 titles on Amazon, all written by AI. All about like anti-vax conspiracy bullshit.
Oh my God.
And like nobody stopped on that either. So he got away with that. So why can't I bring that into the real world? And this is like the crutch that AI is providing for con artists like this.
There was literally a story like in the last couple of weeks where he was just like, this has completely ruined my life. And it's like,
his wife might leave him, like he owes a shit ton of money. All his friends are telling him to go fuck himself.
My whole reaction is straight up just like, this isn't you're like not getting canceled. This is consequences, motherfucker.
The part.
Spoiler alert, your life was probably already fucked before you even did this. Just saying.
The problem with a lot of these scams...
This guy is so much more immersed in hyper-reality than any of the people that he scammed.
It's like Ponzi scheme shit to a certain degree, where you're always like, you're paying the last investor with the new investor's money kind of stuff and just moving it through.
Sure, but that requires you to like actually know how to do things. This guy is not even a good con artist, because he's just literally relying on the AI to do it for him.
Much like a Discovery Channel on like pyramid schemes.
Well, and I'm wondering if is he even doing this scam intentionally? Is there something like is he seeing a different reality?
Is there something wrong with him?
No, I'm not going to give him that.
No,
shit, man. Yeah. Sometimes people just do shitty shit.
Yeah.
It's like this bridge in Baltimore falling.
Yeah,
good segue.
Gigantic boat hit bridge. It collapsed, and like immediately they were saying on the like one of the earliest like statements from the cops and stuff was just like, yeah, this doesn't seem like terrorism. This
first thing they said,
like a giant motherfucking boat hit. A pylon and fucked up an entire bridge. On one of its 2 support points.
Yeah.
What do you think's going to happen? And I saw the footage. I remember seeing the footage of that when I woke up, and I was just like, oh my God. Because it was
it's
raw
terrifying
footage, and it was in real time. It wasn't this like slowed down stuff so that you can see frame by frame what happens, and here the lights go out and all this other stuff. That bridge comes down so fucking fast.
Terrifying.
Oh man, it was like a tin can. It's
just dropped from your hand. It was that fast. It was insane. And it's just fucking mass times force doing that physics thing. I don't know, man. Like,
I don't know if I'm going to be super comfortable going over many bridges at this point.
Oh yeah, Chesapeake Bay Bridge is awesome. That's a
this wasn't even one of the ones on like the concerned infrastructure list of the country. We have a list of bridges that need seeing to, and this wasn't even one of them.
And there's like what has come out in the days since has been pretty interesting in that you can see in the footage, because there is like a bridge cam that's like a 24-hour cam.
Sure.
A lot of people have those. They're all over the place, and the city has them. Like we have intersection cams and stuff that we can clock into here. And you see the lights go out. You see the lights come on. Bunch of exhaust comes out. Lights go out again. Hits the bridge. Okay, like they had a problem. Like the boat had a problem. And they managed to get a mayday out in enough time that they were able to stop traffic on the bridge. So like most of the traffic on the bridge managed to get off. The people that were like killed and hurt were a construction crew filling in fucking potholes.
Fuck.
And they rescued 2 of them. There were 8, and it turned into recovery.
Yeah, I mean, at least it could have been much
see how
worse.
fast this thing drops. You see where their lights are. You can see it blinking.
Yeah.
And then it's gone. Like it's
and it's like it's not even like an infrastructure thing, because like you were saying, Zero, there's plenty of bridges in America that are.
I drive under several of them.
Yeah, they're just going to fall down because they're just zero maintenance.
Shadow Link, you've seen the city of Youngstown.
Yeah, this place is kind of being held together with wire at this point. It seems like
Scum. You remember the L?
Yeah,
there's like some of these support struts
took it every day
that are not touching their supports,
and when you're riding it, you just need to not think about it.
I like the green line used to just catch on fire sometimes.
Oh yeah, that happened a lot. Like for a year, it was happening.
Oh, here too? No, I'm talking about in Chicago.
Oh no, in DC,
yeah, DC. Yeah, no, it's really interesting. Like all that stuff. But like, the point is, like not even like by the time all the fucking like sunglasses, ball cap, talk to you from my truck video guys woke up, it became it's a false flag.
Immediately reality had to be altered to fit these people's like how uncomfortable they are in the fact that the universe is chaos, and immediately had to be like, this
everything is falling apart. Everything is falling apart.
Yeah, but they had to apply like racism and fear to it, where they're
it's that Alan Moore thing. It's that Alan Moore thing.
Yes,
it's much more terrifying to think that no one's at the controls. So you have to invent at least some minimal conspiracy. At the very least, you could have to be like, it's my neighbor's dog leaving, shit on my devil strip. And it's like, neighbor doesn't have a dog, but you've created the story in here. And it's always like, oh, well, ISIS did it, or DEI is their new boogeyman. It's for the word, that they can't say. And, it's like,
that was Musk's Musk's boogeyman.
Ugh.
Oh, the bridge must have been knocked over by DEI.
Find me woke.
I mean, they're saying shit about Baltimore's mayor. He's a young dude. You know, he got fucking elected in a vast majority.
Yeah,
like he annihilated, his opponent. And
they trying to blame him or something? Like,
well, no, but they're trying to say something about like he's black, and I was like, yeah, have you ever seen the city of Baltimore? It's like
they're trying to make that the DEI
majority black. Yeah, well, no, that's all it is. It's all it
Yeah.
is. It's just the racism is showing. And
And the worst part is
I can't stop thinking about the second season of The Wire and the Sabacas though. Like,
they didn't age well.
well, no, it aged beautifully. It aged beautifully.
Yeah.
In context, it aged amazingly.
Yeah.
Like, holy fucking shit. Because, like, what happens to them? You know what I mean?
That's
and then
true. Yeah.
it was prophetic. It, like,
What's the quote?
It's like this bridge and the union, or the union, or like the workers, like they're always going to be there, like this bridge, and it's just like
I haven't seen The
Just
Wire,
like the
but
working class.
I am
Just like the
assuming
it goes great. It goes
Mm-hmm.
awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
It works out for them. They all live. Everyone runs happily ever
Happy
after.
ending. There's a montage with a fucking
Beautiful.
Sheryl Crow song. Like it's.
I mean, it's bad. It's bad enough that these people are like, already just fomenting the rumor mill, but then you have, the pundits at conservative outlets that are just like feeding the flames. You got people like Musk who are
Fuck's
just
sake, really?
putting more
Alex
shit out there.
Jones.
It's
know.
just
Oh, great.
ridiculous.
So scapegoating. This is literally
Pretty much.
a fucking obvious
Recovery
tactic.
efforts are still going on, and they're like trying to point fingers at people that.
And it's like, it's not even like something where, I mean, there is a very real conversation to be had about like our infrastructure and whatnot, but that wasn't even the case here. It was like an accident happened. It's incredibly tragic. That's about it.
Well, here's the thing that happened today that really made me feel bad. Like aside from everything, aside from how this is going to fuck up the Bay and the fact that like a lot of shipping exports and stuff. I mean, that's a
they have
part
to
of
close the Bay for at least a week. I think they said a week or two.
at least because you're not just like getting a crane and picking that gigantic fucking quarter-mile chunk of metal and bridge off. You're gonna have to break it down, and it's only about 50 feet deep there. So that boat was like 40 feet under, like underwater.
Yeah.
It's bad shit. And there's all the shit that's on there, but like, so I don't know, some years, Zero, remember Paul Wiedefeld?
No.
Okay. So he's a guy that they brought in to fix the metro some years ago, like 6-7 years ago, maybe, or something like that. And he had just turned BWI into a good fucking airport. Like he just got done. He took this like dog shit airport and absolutely like turned it into an international airport. Like he did a good job. And everybody's just in awe. This guy knows how to manage.
Yeah.
He knows how to get shit done. So he came over here and he took one look at the fucking DC Metro and he's like, how many years has it been since you've done maintenance on these fucking rails? And they're like 20 years. In some cases, 10 years in some cases. So he set into motion this just incredible fucking operation to get a lot of the rails fixed. And he's dealing with like incoming purchases, like the new cars that were coming in that actually didn't work great at first. Like they were already purchased and on the way, and he had to deal with them and stuff like that. And this motherfucker, he managed to juggle all this shit. He did the best he could, and he stuck around. And then I heard like some new guy was in charge, and I was like, oh, I wonder who they got. I don't care. He's not making these awesome press conference like appearances where he's just like, it's jacked up. I'm doing my best.
That was the thing is like he came in with, I do remember the person in charge speaking about it, and he came in with some honesty.
Yeah.
The deal was they had been talking since I moved here in the 90s about expanding DC Metro to go all the way out to Dulles Airport. And they finally did it. But they didn't put in any new infrastructure power-wise. They just kept pumping the same power, and the transformers kept blowing up and burning.
Right.
Like it was a monthly, weekly occurrence in DC. It was pretty bad.
Jesus.
But he was honest about it. That was the big thing. They brought him in, and he was honest and upfront about it.
Yeah, he had the best press conferences I've ever seen from a fucking government bureaucrat official, anything. From the top to the bottom. He came out. He's like, "This is the problem. This is what we're dealing with." He didn't point. He was pissed. Like. This man was a object lesson in restraint. Because you know how some people are just like really polite and they're like talking to you like this, but you can feel it. You can feel like that fucking like demon just full of frustration. Like he's holding it back. Like he's putting it in that little like repression box. He's going to use that later when he goes to play darts. He's going to throw a dart through the wall into a fucking monster truck wheel. Like
Sean Fain has the same energy.
Yes. Yeah. It was big vibes like that. Anyway,
United Auto Workers president, Sean Fain.
So
admirable amounts of restraint that I don't have personally.
It's incredible. No, when you see something like that, it's impressive. It's like I need that because I can get more done that way. You know what I mean? Like it may kill me in the end, it may poison my blood, but fucking like I'm gonna get these goddamn trains running. So anyway, it turns out he's back in Baltimore and he gave a statement about the bridge today, and I was just like, "Oh, buddy, oh man, he is like." That joke about he's like, why do you keep sending me your biggest battles? And, God's like, because you're my biggest warrior. I feel like that's happening to like Wiedefeld on some level.
Seriously.
Like, the dude's good at his job. Like from what I've seen, I've been impressed with the cat.
Yeah.
It's rare. It's one of those things where like, if you pay attention to it, you see what's happening. You're like, fuck. Okay. You don't see that happen very often. You don't see someone doing their job and it working out,
Yeah.
That's a lot of talk. He
like
do that. Like they would shut down lines. I'd have to you take a bus from one stop to the other because those lines would be shut the fuck down. But he had that set up.
It's almost like if you actually invest in your education system, you can get some pretty competent people out of it.
I don't even know if it's that. I just think it's the fact that like you have this person who's legitimately good at his job, which is again, like you said, rare for bureaucracy.
Yeah.
It's rare.
A very talented, like logistics person.
He was actually elevated to a point of his competence.
I would not want to play a 4X game against Paul Wiedefeld. No. He would annihilate me.
That's his job. That's what he does at work.
That's what I'm saying.
Like city management.
Yeah, exactly. So what did he say exactly? What did he say exactly when they put a microphone in front of him? Like,
well, I wasn't really like. That's the thing about it. I wasn't really paying attention, and then like. Well, no, it was just like a guy talking. I wasn't really paying attention. I was like doing something. It was the morning. I was in mid coffee, like I hadn't pooped yet.
So he's going to be in charge of
paying attention. Well, no, he's like, oh, this is just a situation that's going on at this time. And they cut to like, the newscaster's just like, and that was Paul Wiedefeld in charge of Baltimore City. And I'm like, what? Like, that's what snapped me out of it. I was like, oh, buddy. That's like...
Yeah, that's like
he can't catch a break.
Bringing in the heavy hitters.
Send him a fucking good sandwich or something.
Full plate, man.
Yeah, it's hard when he's like. It reminds me of that one story. It's like he's the last competent man. Like he's.
It's like you get done cleaning up one thing and then you walk in and you're like, hey, things are going okay over here. Like the airport's working out. Like I'm having a good old time. And then this happens. You're just like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, I mean, but man, this is just this. We see a lot of urban decay in Cyberpunk, but man, this just takes it to a whole fucking. I don't feel like this is like necessary. This isn't urban decay necessarily. This bridge isn't old. I was 2 when they finished it. Like it's. I'm older than the bridge.
Yeah, it's more of like an accident in how we deal with that
for a bridge.
Yeah,
there's some of these motherfuckers around here.
I think the decay would be like how we react to it, which we saw the conspiracy theorists came out, and how this gets
always
cleared.
A false flag.
And then how this gets cleared up, and how effective that is, and God, what they put in its place if they even are going to bother.
Yeah,
like that's the angle for a story.
In the 70s, it took them 5 years to build that bridge.
That's not a lot of time for a bridge.
Yeah,
they busted it out. And it's some sick fuck posted a story about that tunnel, bridge tunnel. The bridge that Zero, you know what I'm talking about.
The Harbor Tunnel in Baltimore.
No. It's in like Richmond or something. Or
oh, okay, yeah, the big long tunnel there at.
It's this real long bridge, and then it goes underwater.
Yeah,
near Norfolk. Yeah. Nightmare fuel.
Ugh.
Nightmare fuel. And the only reason I say that is because like we were coming from Busch Gardens when I was a kid. When Hurricane Andrew was coming in and waves were hitting the side of the freeway. And then I'm like, why are we going into the water?
Yikes.
I'm like, what is going on? We're in a van. We're going to die. That's going to be full of water. What the fuck's going on? And I had my first tunnel panic attack and became completely like claustrophobic. That's where it came from.
Oh,
we got out of it and I was like high on whatever it is that you get when you like panic and survive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been chasing that high also.
At least the Holland tunnel kind of lies to you a bit, because it's like, all right, we're going in this tunnel. Don't think about how much pressure of water is above us.
Yeah. No, I mean, we got one that goes under the Potomac and stuff. Like, whatever.
Sure.
I don't like.
God,
that's the quickest way to die on a train. You know, I'd hate to like suffocate like some people did.
The Holland, you take a car, which is somehow
that's
worse.
right. That's right.
Which is somehow worse in my mind. At least on a train, I don't have to think about it too much.
Yeah.
Still not as bad as the Hyperloop.
Still not as bad as the
I was gonna say. I mean, if we're gonna talk about fucking bad engineering, like, goddamn, the fucking cars in the Super Mario Brothers movie was a better idea than
yeah, they were actually.
Than the fucking Hyperloop.
Let's do that. It's really tragic that this is like a feat of like actually pretty good engineering getting taken out by an accident. You know,
it was like 177,000 tons. Do the math. Like it's, that's like ship weight plus cargo, and it's moving what 8-9 knots.
Yeah, didn't stand a chance.
That's
like if it ran into you would be like fucking. If you felt the full force of that, you would be a smear. That's all you would be.
If you were standing still and you bonked your head on it, that'd
be a fly on a windshield, man.
It'd fuck you up. You would flinch, guaranteed.
Can we stop talking about the death bridge, because now I'm having a panic attack.
Well, on the top of infrastructure decay, if we want to go down that route, Boeing's been in the news. We'd
nice,
yeah.
We'd say about that.
What I wanted to say, you're right. It's about the urban decay is about what we replace things with.
Well, I mean, it's about food deserts. It's about it's not just like filling in holes in the road. It's like making sure the power stays on in the winter. It making sure that people have enough to sewage.
Yeah. And what your response is when like mysterious acts of happen. Like this is an accident.
Like this is the least mysterious thing we saw the whole thing. There's footage of the whole fucking thing. It's just like oops, crush, collapse. Fuck. I mean, it's not. There's no mystery. The guys are like Mayday. Like they stopped traffic. More people could have been on the bridge. It was 1:30 in the morning. Like there's so many things that were like, oh my god, thank God that happened.
Yeah.
For as bad as this is and how bad this. I mean, there's like that's how chemical loads were carried like around Baltimore. Because they couldn't use like 95 and the other shit. Like now they have to reroute them completely around the city and they had like 2 hours to the fucking drive.
Yeah.
Because you can't just have chemicals driving straight through the fucking city. It's bad enough.
Yeah, our trains are so safe.
Oh yeah.
So besides me blaming Mothman, what is what is going on with Boeing?
Lots.
Besides the doors flying off.
I mean, more of the same as far as just like, the gutting of things that are important and work well and made to go shitty. Cory Doctorow's and shittification.
Yeah.
But it's been like a 20-year, dive for Boeing. What happened with Boeing is they basically formed a monopoly and decided that money was more important than quality if they want to top level it.
Yeah.
Well, went for a very long time with Boeing.
They kind of self-regulate too now.
Well, interesting.
That always works out.
Wait, what was that, Zero?
Well, it's an interesting thing about that. Yeah, they're a perfect example of what has come to be known as regulatory capture, where they work so hand in glove with the federal agency that's supposed to be regulating them that they kind of, like you said, basically regulate themselves. They were able to convince the FAA that since they are the aeronautics company, they know best about guidelines and regulations, and they should be the ones to report to them on their own.
Right.
And in a perfect world, that will be true.
Yeah.
But
alas,
it's not.
If people were honest,
yes.
If everyone was forced to be honest, if it was that James Morrow story, City of Truth, sure.
So they spent about 20 years basically buying the people that they needed to buy in the FAA by promising them jobs after they get out of the FAA, and it just completely eroded their culture. On top of that, when they became a monopoly in the late 90s, they merged with, I think it was McDonnell Douglas, a big military contractor. Boeing was more in the commercial space. They figured this merger is going to be okay because they're not really competing, even though they both sell defense and they both sell commercial. The merger is just complementary. It's not, it's not going to cause a monopoly.
What year was that?
1996.
So when, okay, I vaguely. I'm not going to talk about the X35. Not going to talk about the X35. What year did they fucking compete against each other? Like wasn't it McDonnell Douglas and Boeing? Because I remember Boeing was one of them.
This was, I think, a little before the merger, because they were still in competition at that point. They weren't like.
That's what I'm wondering. Like Boeing had a like functional plane that did most of the shit, but like McDonnell Douglas was like, we'll come in cheaper, and look at what's happened. It's been 40 fucking years, 30 some fucking years, and we still like these things can't even eject right.
Your job is to make something that defies God's will. Your job is to send a metal canister through the fucking sky. And
that's
why
the thing.
pinch pennies?
At the time, though, Boeing knew a thing or two about fucking planes, and McDonnell Douglas was kind of like, we do more of the missile thing. You know, we do more of the engine thing. We do more of the motor thing. But like
Boeing really prided itself on being like an aeronautics engineering company first.
Yeah.
And when they did the merger, they kind of came away with this. You know what? We're not going to manage this place as an aeronautics firm anymore. We're going to manage it as a business. And
Yeah.
always works out.
That's
That's what they did by cheapening the product, by outsourcing stuff, instead of doing it themselves. By stock buybacks, they took the corporate headquarters, moved to Chicago, away from the actual engineering headquarters, which stayed in Seattle, and the company just kind of atrophied from there. And the perfect example is this latest controversy that they've been having the last couple years with the 737.
Hold on, Zero. Get closer to your mic.
Okay. This culminates in the latest controversy they've been having the last couple of years with the 737 MAX.
Yeah.
The 737 is basically a 50-year-old airframe, and that's not super uncommon. It's not super old, but rather than updating and coming up with new products like their competitor Airbus has done, Boeing decided it was more cost-effective to upgrade an older product. They put new engines on this old plane. The plane was not built for these engines, so they had to enter in a system that basically made up for an error that could be apparent on landing, where the plane would stall out. But
oh god,
because
what do you mean, Zero? Making an airplane isn't like Minecraft?
No.
Oh my god!
Because the system is like a kind of a hacked together thing. It's basically a software fix for a hardware problem, so that they wouldn't have to put in for new approvals from the FAA. They wouldn't have to spend a lot of money, basically. I'm trying to explain this without getting crazy into the weeds, without being really crazy.
The airplane I'm on to go to, like, I don't know where the fuck, shouldn't resemble a computer I tried to build in college. Okay.
There was a Instagram reel today that I just happened to click on. It was like, this guy's on a plane, and the text is like the whatever the air assistant asked if I knew what to do if I was going to sit in this seat. And I said, like, yes, I know. I will do the honorable thing. So he grabs onto the handle of it, not the release handle, but like the handle that's just like, it would be in like the back seat of a car, Yeah. And he's like, it shows him lifting off and then fast forwarding the flight and then landing. And the whole time he's got his hand on that thing. He's like, I'm just keeping it on.
I'm going to hold it on here.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's dark as fuck. Like,
that's the other recent problem too.
Really
besides this massive problem with the 737 MAX systems, they've been having all kinds of other problems. Recently, this door blew off a plane because bolts weren't properly installed.
Yeah.
Part of the reason I've been following this story so closely is my family's an aviation family. My mom works for the airlines. My dad was an aircraft mechanic his whole life. One of my first jobs was like a file gopher at the company my dad worked at was an air freight company, and every piece, screw, bolt, nut that comes off of a plane has a ticket written for it, and someone signs off on who has done this. They were not able to find this information.
Oh no!
For the plane whose bolts blew off.
I worked in a pretty janky shop at one point, and we had like the one thing that we absolutely goddamn took seriously was like lockout tagout shit.
Yeah, it's there for a reason.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's why we did it, because it made it easier for us to figure out like when something broke again. We had a log. We look back, I was like, oh yeah, I did that. A couple years ago. This is how we fixed it. Like. It's this finance fuckers like getting into tech and not knowing what they're talking about.
God only knows.
It's
Yeah.
it's
Just make the numbers go up.
Yeah, basically.
I think
And
I
that's
even
the
mentioned
thing,
this
is as long as they were
already.
making the numbers go up, nobody like gave a shit for 20 years.
Right.
Yeah. Holy
What's
shit.
that immovable force of limited resources hitting that unstoppable object? I fucked up the whole metaphor.
Yeah, that was incredible. Try again.
Wow.
Please.
Well,
The
the other-
unstoppable force of endless quarterly profits hits the immovable object of limited resources. Did it?
And the
There we
other
go.
thing that's like
All
fucked up about it is the CEO is basically, since the merger, has basically been playing musical chairs every 5 to 10 years for one reason or another, and they keep
That's
pulling
always a good
CEOs and executives that used to work at GE. And if you know anything about GE's track record, that's entirely just a gut and sell operation. So
Yeah.
it's no surprise
Yep.
that this has been happening, here too.
Ugh, man.
And it's really just
Take
like,
the
they
money and
tell
run.
us,
That's all this is. Fuck.
capitalism
and none of these
breeds
guys, they don't
innovation, it's
even-
the best system, and it's like, no, it's not.
They
This is
couldn't-
literally one of the 2 main passenger aircraft manufacturers in the world. And
Yeah.
nobody wants to fly in their fucking planes now. America used to be like synonymous with aviation innovation. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to fly Boeing now.
Well, all of it,
Yeah, I
tech
wonder why.
innovation, fucking like we used to have like doubling of tech for a real long time. That whole whatever that God, what the hell is that thing called?
I think I know what you're talking about. But
Well,
now microchips
Yeah.
double in size every
Right.
or in storage capacity every 2 years.
the jumping Jesus theory or something,
Yeah.
like whatever. But like it's, and then they just figured out, oh well, we can just have that, like engineered malfunctioning. We can make your battery weaken. When we want you to
Planned
buy a new
obsolescence,
battery,
right?
planned obsolescence is the word.
Yeah.
Did an episode about it. Talked about it a whole bunch. Don't remember the words. I've done 2
episode.
episodes today. And I'm real tired.
Yeah. Wasn't there like assholes trying to say the reason this is happening because like diversity or something?
Yes.
Again,
like,
probably.
DEI. It's the big boogaboo. It
Yeah.
kills everything. Don't you understand?
No, I don't.
Now
Like
I'm gonna
this-
go pretend like this music I like didn't come from another culture initially.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's really scary, and it's unclear like where things are going to land with all of this. The FA, sorry, the,
Hopefully, hey,
the DOJ has opened up an investigation into Boeing. FBI is looking into it. I hope they're also looking into the FAA because it sounds like they're hand in glove with this bullshit.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Like holy shit.
And I would not be surprised at all if something of this magnitude makes its way up to the Supreme Court. But even then, I'm not really too
You still there?
confident about where that's going to go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This whole thing, I mean, this happens again and again. And actually, right now, there is a case that's being looked at by the Supreme Court that's kind of a similar sort of regulation thing, but for the ocean.
Yeah.
They're looking at basically the Maritime Fisheries Department has regulators that go out on fishing boats with fishing companies to make sure that everything is done properly. And the companies pay for this service, to be regulated to operate. It's a company, it's a cost of doing business.
Yeah.
They're arguing to the federal government that this is unconstitutional. They should not have to pay for these people. And if they win, they're just going to take them off the boats and they're going to self-regulate.
Oh,
And
good.
I can tell you,
Okay.
in another 5 or 10 years, we're going to have sea slavery here. If there's
Yeah,
any
I was
fish
going to say
in
that's the
ocean.
first thing I thought of. That is
Yeah.
literally the first
Jesus
thing I
Christ.
thought of.
Yeah, it's going to lead to sea
I
slavery.
mean, we kind of do have it. Like, there's versions of this.
Well, I mean,
Well, yeah, getting forced
Cruise
onto a
ships.
ship sucks.
Yeah.
But like, it's in other parts of the world, you literally get like you sign a bogus contract, and they're like, okay, when we return to land, you'll be fine. You'll get paid. So we never return to land,
yeah.
and you were just a slave now.
Cruise ships. Fucking cruise ships.
Yeah, not to
Yep.
say that doesn't exist today, but I'm saying, usually that's not sailing out of American ports that we
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like,
because we have regulation.
yeah, so you'd have a fishing boat just populated by entirely by slaves. Basically, they've been tricked into
yeah.
being there. And
Outlaw Ocean podcast is a great episode about it. It's really terrifying.
yeah,
Ooh.
it's a
Yeah.
fucking nightmare. It's nightmarish. That kind of practice is terrifying.
Remember that guy that like hijacked the boat he was on because he wasn't getting paid, and then he did it again like 8 months later.
The Ukrainian
boats?
guard,
Yeah.
yeah.
The guy fucking ruled.
Yeah, that guy's a hero.
I won't go that far, but he was a G for doing that.
They actually, yeah.
Holy shit, dude.
Oh,
man.
I wish I could do that. Like, I wish, like, I'm taking this bar hostage.
Oh, that's bleak. So don't fly Boeing.
Try not
yeah.
to.
Yeah, I flew to Chicago back in January on Airbus, and I was like, ah, sweet. And then I got on the plane, and on the way back, it was a Boeing, and I swear to God, like I was clenched. Like I was, everything was just like, toes were like curled up in my shoes. My hands were like trying to play.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice while it lasted. Seeing the arcologies up close was kind of cool. But
the 737 Max has like the worst problems with it. I guess it's like the jankiest of them. But there's problems, from the floor up. The more you read it, like there's gonna be more things.
They're gonna ground their fleet.
Oof.
They're fucked. Yeah.
They're gonna have to. They're gonna have to do an entire dress every fucking plane top to bottom. Like they need an engineer in.
Yeah.
Hire Paul Wiedefeld.
It's probably gonna get scarier too the longer this goes on when they find out we don't know who installed these parts or where these parts came from. Like I guarantee that's what's gonna end up happening.
I think once you make $100 million, you don't get to work anymore. Like, you're just not hireable.
Yeah.
Again, not to throw another log on the fire, but then most recently there was a Boeing whistleblower who kind of committed suicide. We think.
Oh yeah. I say that, but I mean, come on.
We had Taco Bell. Come on, guys.
Pretty bad.
Well, his brother even said, he's like, yeah, look, he was joking. He was like shooting the shit with his brother. He's like, yeah, I'm doing my testifying. He's like, if I end up dead, I didn't do it myself. Haha. Yeah, clearly.
It just
He was in the middle of testifying. What did he have to lose?
He was in the middle of testifying, and he was providing testimony that Bowen was having him stay there to testify, to present. He was finished. Boeing asked him to stay an extra day so that they didn't have to reconvene in 2 months or something because they had a specialist coming in, and that next day is when he was found dead. Like he was
Hitman's flight was delayed.
Oh man.
Number 47, man, he got like stuck in. I fucking had to take him to Idaho to fly him back on down there.
I really hate to just spout conspiracy, but living Christ, like it looks so bad. The optics are really.
I mean, if at the very least, this would have to be. It seems like blackmail. It really seems like it would be like serious blackmail. Like we're gonna ruin your life and your family.
It seems like Fargo.
Yeah.
I mean, look, except like poorly written.
Yeah, that's like a weird form of like corporate espionage. If this is the fact that like Boeing, out of anybody, would hire like an assassin. It's
well, I mean, they're huge. Look, they have a building here that's right across from the Pentagon.
Oh, don't get what?
Oh yeah,
right across the freeway. It's like
Coca-Cola sent death squads after people in Latin America in the 90s.
Labor
Russia
organizers
gave Pepsi naval warships to bring Pepsi to Moscow.
That's right.
You know what? Yeah, you're right.
They were at one point like the 5th largest navy in the world was Pepsi.
Yeah, you're right. This is pretty tame considering what corporations.
Yeah, I mean to think that this would happen in America is you would think it's crazy, but I mean look where we're fucking at. Like
it just looks really bad, man.
The mob fucking won, guys. They won. They got what?
It wasn't the mob.
I mean, like the mafia.
That's what I'm talking about. It wasn't. This isn't them. These are just
them.
Well, not literally the mafia, but like it's the same mindset. It's the exact same mindset,
right?
The mafia runs a business.
Yeah, I was going to say the mafia run a better business than
dude. Look, they pay on time. They have benefits. Are you fucking kidding me?
Okay, yeah, you're right.
The mafia is like I don't not yay mafia, but like at the same time, it's like they did the business part right so that you'd stay off their fucking backs.
Oh, you know what it is? You haven't lived in Youngstown long enough.
Well, yeah.
Or Chicago. I mean, whatever.
Yeah,
or just read history. We only hear about the guys that get caught. You never ever fucking hear about the guys who still operate and run like several successful businesses and probably some really good fucking restaurants.
Yeah, this is very true.
I mean, shit.
Yeah. Boeing, on the other hand, are definitely not the mob.
Somebody has to buy the Lamborghinis.
The people with like the higher ambitions, the people that you do hear about, they're criminals, is what I'm saying, and this is like the most organized criminality that you can see.
Sam Altman, Bankman-Fried, fucking Elizabeth Holmes. It's this whole like brained thing. This whole myth of like the rich are smart and do anything thing.
Mhm.
Like you could be good at one thing, and like some things pay better than others. And like one thing that pays really well is like scamming motherfuckers.
Lying.
Yes.
Generating hype for motherfuckers who inherited money, who
I mean,
don't know what to
well,
do with it.
I mean,
You do it all
obvious-
on paper; it's legal, basically.
Yeah.
Planes.
I mean, the obvious one is Elon trying to like make himself look as much like Tony Stark as possible. Like,
And he's not.
He's
it's
such
not
a
working.
dumb motherfucker. Oh man, I think he believed it himself for a minute. I think he bought his own bullshit.
Oh, let's not drag him into this. I don't want to fucking talk about that.
Yeah, we
asshole.
talked about this last.
We talked about it
briefly.
enough.
I was about to say the same thing I said several hours ago. It's like there's a new fucking story about the Cybertruck every day.
Yeah,
Like
fuck
every
that.
day.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
Oh, man.
Box. But yeah, Boeing's fucked.
Yeah, Boeing's pretty.
Boeing's
they're
pretty
a bad
fucked.
place.
Don't go
I mean,
on
well, here's the
Boeing.
thing too. It's like I feel safe saying that in this instance because, like, as their planes keep crashing, no one's going to use them.
Yeah.
You know, like there's certain risk reward things. Like even like I think Tesla's a better use case than these things at this point because if those catch on fire, you have a better chance of not plummeting 20,000, 30,000 feet at 500-600 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah, seriously.
Now, it's still safer than driving. Flying is definitely still safer than driving statistically, but
Statistically.
I would rather die quickly in a car accident.
Yeah, and not in a massive panic.
And not have enough time.
Yeah.
to
Well, that's what
realize
freaks
what's
me out.
happening.
That's what freaks me out about the the bridge story as well. Because like, I'm glad to know that like no cars went over the bridge because that is my nightmare.
I mean, it's funny that like you see like these like there's a semi moments where I mean it clears it gets onto the solid part and stuff. But it's just one of those things where like that guy shit his pants. And it's
do that?
fine.
Was
Like
that my fault?
it's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like if you shit your pants, that's fine.
Ugh, I feel
Yeah.
bad for the I feel bad for the maintenance guys. Who are calling that? That
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, those good. Oh,
That's
man.
brutal.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Boeing, I don't know.
Well, hopefully they died.
Anything else more
Hopefully
on
it
that?
was more of a.
Well, they're doing their
Yeah.
best to bring up those percentages of not being safe to fly. So
Still?
we're working on it. What else is in the news that's ridiculous? They're banning TikTok again.
Right.
Oh, that was. I don't.
Yeah, there was that.
They passed a
Didn't
bill in
we
the House to try and
talk
ban
about that?
TikTok.
You did.
But they actually passed some legislation. We talked about it before they had passed the legislation. And honestly, I don't want to say too much about this because spoiler alert, we may have a guy on the inside. We want to do a larger episode. Don't want to reveal his name. We'll call him Deep Talk for now.
Heyo.
But we'll probably do a deeper dive on that when we can talk to somebody who works there. But
Yeah.
but for now, yeah, Congress is still trying to ban it like it's the worst thing. And everyone agrees, there's a problem with social media. We do need to do something about it. I don't think this is it. This is really just
Yeah.
It's basically, they're just hamstringing a social media platform. Like,
Yeah, pretty much.
they
And
don't
it's like
understand
one
it,
that they're not invested in.
and they're not
Yeah.
invested in it.
Yeah.
It's such transparent bullshit, and it's so fucking clear. Like we were always worried about, like, oh well, Republicans are like they're on the side of the farmers as much as the Democrats like to push for that. The Democrats are the side of the academics or whatever. Who gives a fuck? And it's like at the end of the day, they were both just taking that tech dough.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
when an American company does what TikTok does, apparently it's 100% fine. But when it turns out it's a Chinese company, suddenly it's
Come to
Again,
Strom Thurmond.
fucking scapegoating.
Imagine Strom Thurmond on TikTok.
The last time we were talking about this,
Oh,
the last time we were talking about this when it was in the news, basically they hadn't done any legislation about it. But they were talking about banning it, and the way that it was saved from a ban was that they decided they would allow that they would have some U.S. servers where they would store all the U.S. data.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And that contract got kicked to somebody from Oracle who was buddy with some of the congressmen who were making the thing happen. So it's just completely transparent what's going on here. And again, like I said, there's valid concerns about China. There are valid concerns about privacy. There are valid concerns about our children and social media.
Yeah.
I don't think reactionary banning is the way that it's going to do it.
yeah.
And
You
the other
have
thing
to
that-
have some people on. Like, oh my god, I keep hearing these ads for a new social media site on all the podcasts I listen to.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to say the name. This is not an endorsement. It's called Zigazoo.
I
Okay.
hate it.
Sure.
I hate it.
Sure. Why not?
It's for kids, and like,
Nope.
Oh, okay. This was advertised to me. Yes, I did.
Yeah.
yes, and you like they. But the one thing about them that I think is really funny is one of their big selling points is like, and then an actual person will moderate the video before it's posted to your feed. There are no comments. Like no one can like talk shit to other people. I think you're silly in this dance and all this other stuff. But the fact that it exists is bothersome to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: like, you're not really like kids, like parents keeping an eye on their kids. You should have underage kids necessarily on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because fuck you on posting weird shit here and there.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want your kid to see it. Maybe we won't be friends, but like,
kids should not
keep
be
my shit on private anyway. I basically learned that like.
Also, how do you age verify that?
You use a third-party site that age verify. So, okay, Ron DeSantis actually just passed legislation in Florida that is a social media ban for all children under 14. I was kind of trying to read the broad strokes of it, but he basically puts all the onus, all the impetus on the social media companies to figure it out. You know what they're going to do?
Going to happen.
They're going to block it, just like Pornhub. Just like
So nothing's going to happen.
So this is a purely ceremonial gesture.
Yeah.
It takes
also
up next year. We'll see how they work it out. I don't know.
I also do like that DeSantis thinks 14-year-olds aren't smarter than him when they clearly are.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's not going to do anything.
Yeah. I don't see any fucking 14-year-olds like walking tippy toes in fucking stuffed cowboy boots.
From what I could tell, it puts the onus on the companies and on the parents to like do it, but it's going to be illegal.
Like, oh yeah, okay, enforce it.
Precisely.
I
mean, it's Florida, man. They're going to put you like your mom in a chokehold because you went on Facebook that one time.
Either that, or they're just going to give you some crocodile and let you like eat someone's face. I don't know what they do down there. I don't know what the law is like. It's
it's fine. You could take like mountains of crocodile. You could eat your neighbor. It's fine.
So in my opinion, this is being brought to the forefront right now because again, we've talked about this before on the podcast, but like most recently, historically, we're not buying the narrative on Gaza. A part of that is because of the stuff that is coming out on social media, and TikTok is a big part of that. Love it or hate it, it's true. It's easy to get it out there. There's less censors, whatever, but people are using it more now. Maybe it's just a time.
Yeah.
And that's pissing people off, and that's why they want to ban it. Again, it's not the only reason. I'm being a little hyperbolic here, but it's definitely a factor. It is absolutely
right. That's the big thing. Okay,
I can see that.
We all remember a time when we only had like 4 channels and then maybe cable.
Well, some of us do.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, some of us do. I mean, some of the listeners might not. You might not live in a world that wasn't like connected, and you had access to just YouTube. Yeah, just by itself is a billion channels.
It was a lot quieter when I was a kid.
Well, yeah, but the other thing is like you had to be home at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock on a Friday night if you wanted to watch the X-Files, or you had to set your VCR and tape it and hope it did it right.
Yeah.
Very true.
There was none of this like just dial it up. We'll binge a season in a weekend. Like if you were binging a season in a weekend, that meant you spent like $120 or something on like seasons of a show.
You were like a mad person back then, yeah,
or more. You know what I mean? And it was really really fucking a lot more difficult to like it was easy when like VHS tapes came out, like to rent things.
There's a paradigm shift there.
Definitely, there was like, that
was more at your own pace and a la carte for sure.
And how you digest news, like even just like not even just entertainment. Like
back then, like we moved away from shit like newsreels, but you had all your radio stations, and then you had your evening news, you had your local news, and then you had your nightly news, which is like the national shit, right? Yeah. But that was the narrative. That's what you got. You had to go to find like back when like Mother Jones was still kind of good, for any kind of alternative to that. You know, it's not like Barnes & Noble had Jacobin sitting on the fucking like counter and stuff. Like we were in Youngstown, we paid $2 for an issue of The Onion. Gladly. Yeah. Like gladly. Yeah. And then I found out, they give it away in Chicago and DC and stuff at the time. I was so pissed. Anyway,
but like we had
like it was easy to control the narrative then.
Yeah.
And then, like they talk about predictive programming. It wasn't really that so much as like, the movies at the time,
This is why I'll never say that the internet was a mistake, because it has the way that it has diversified the way that people express themselves. I mean, this is the closest thing that we have right now to being telepathic, pretty much.
Yeah.
Fair.
All of the human knowledge at our fingertips. Like, it's not.
And as it turns out, everything is a lot more fucked up than we thought it was.
Yeah.
It's so fucked up.
Yeah.
Us four get to make a podcast. Like we got our fucking radio show. This is like our, like you didn't have to have like a rich investor buy you a tower.
And as it turns out, I mean, and this is, well, isn't that kind of like the same argument about last century was around the 1920s is when a lot of new innovations in communication were coming about.
Yeah.
And so we were having more, it wasn't, the narrative wasn't, what?
It was like, don't spoil the telephone shit.
Yeah.
Well, the narrative was easier to control until this new technology came out. And then,
dude, a Twitter fight was like a several month fucking letter writing battle.
That's it. Like everything was so much more insular. Like you knew what was going on in your community, and they mostly looked like you and mostly ran into the same things that you were into.
Yeah.
So this is
which like I don't love.
It's the dream of the HOA.
Yeah.
Well, that's neighborhood.
Yeah, no, it like when it comes to like Gaza, it's like I have to like now program things to not keep me that informed because all of it's like just new trauma when I turn my phone on now.
Well, it's just bad.
Yeah, it's just bad. Nothing's improved. It's not good. But like, thankfully, this information is easily acceptable whether you like it or not, and that is important. Whether we can do anything about these things, knowing about it now, I don't know. But someone fucking needs to.
We have like ever since social media blew up from like old Twitter, Facebook, even MySpace to some degree. Mm-hmm. There was always like you always had the Earth is flat, vaccines are bad fucks who were like trying to do their grifts.
Yeah, sure.
But there was also where like in Yahoo Messenger, you just had Yahoo. I got on the brain ever since the Willy Wonka thing. I'm gonna go to the gas station get some Yoo-hoo after this now. Stay up all night, play fucking Helldivers or more realistically Power Wash Simulator. It is. Hey, you guys are just lucky I'm not drinking while we're doing this episode. This time, there will be one. I'm saving up for it. My tolerance is tanking so amazingly. It's great. I literally look at a 12% beer and I get a hangover. It's fucking, this is where I want to be. The weed's hitting harder now. Oh, it's so good. Anyway,
so where are we at?
Well, I'm just talking about how you can get around like the main narrative, and in fact, you can get people critiquing it, in real time.
Yeah.
You get weirdos who have YouTube channels who get like live feeds to things that are happening in real time that you won't see on like NBC because they're in the middle of Young Sheldon or whatever.
Well, you have to remember,
or
it
CBS.
Is up to you to be curious and have enough critical thinking skills to understand what is and is not bullshit.
Yeah, and no, you're gonna.
That's the downside of all this is that you still have these grifters and people are kind of shilling that bullshit all around the internet, but. And
everything is going to get harder, and you're going to fuck up, and it's fine. Just, hey.
And also, I mean...
Tip your hat, be like, right on, okay, got it. That's too many fingers, okay? I have a lot of thoughts about King Charles, but he's got some sausage-ass fingers. And you can't let AI anywhere near that. It gets delicious looking.
No. It's like
anyhow.
The other thing was... Kate Middleton not disappeared in a trunk, apparently.
No. She left with Sean Diddy Combs. I don't know what the fuck's. Look.
My money was. I thought she had been tapped by the Time Lords to become the next Doctor Who. But
I don't care. But at the same time, I was kind of like getting a kick out of like what theories made its way to me because I actively avoid all that. I don't know if I told you I worked in a British goodies store at one point when like the baby, like one of the babies was born. They wanted to like see what we were going to do about it. And I was like, we had a whole war, so I don't have to worry about it. Let me call my boss who's from there, and then you could talk to her.
Is that the
Well,
shop in
the
Arlington? The tea
reporter
shop in Arlington?
It's next to it was next to like Ambar,
I
like
think
in
I know that
Clarendon.
I used to get HP sauce there.
Oh yeah. Oh dude, I miss a lot of that. They had those what the fuck crunchies, man. Crunchies are the shit. They're like, what if Butterfingers didn't suck? Like, that's all I can say. They're fucking incredible.
If you're listening from the UK, send us crunchies.
Right.
Or the crunchy bits, the short ones. So it's just like one that
We need
you
a
like,
PO
the
box.
chocolate mouth.
People
And
could send us like chocolate and possibly mail bombs.
I need a fix. I also need to get some Iron Brew.
That was also the other one
yeah.
that you're saying that, P. Diddy in the news again. Shocker. Big surprise. I started hearing that story like when I was kind of passing out. I was taking a nap with the baby on me, and I was kind of listening to that and sort of passing out, and I was having these like visions of just like P. Diddy sailing off into the sunset in a white Gulfstream 5 with like F-15s following behind him, like the white Bronco fiasco just in the air.
That would have been more entertaining to what actually happened.
I guess.
I never liked him.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about it.
I never did.
I never had an opinion.
Well, he was
Honestly.
doing like the easy shit. He was just like taking a already popular song. It's kind of like we're going to talk about. We had another topic for today, but we're going to turn that into an entirely like full episode. But a teaser from that is this idea that there was a company that owned Rick James's entire catalog. Super Freak.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so they just went and they were like, well, let's do something with this since we have this catalog and he's not, in charge of it anymore. We're going to just like chop and screw it in the worst possible ways. And here, let's make a superstar out of Nicki Minaj with this. And it's
the
just
nightmare's future of our entertainment. That's what this is going to be. It's
Please do not do this to us when we die.
Yeah, no, there is an app out there and I didn't bother to learn the name of it because I scream enough. And it was about how like you can enter all of your ex's texts into this AI so you can talk to it like you're still dating.
God.
Nope.
What the?
Do you want her? Because this is how you get her.
Nope.
Jesus, yeah, no kidding.
The movie.
Are you sure that's not a horrible sponsor that we wrote in the script?
It's been a long day. I've seen things.
Oh my god.
No, I've been saying as soon as they launch like the real sex dolls, that replica company is just going to like program them and make $1 billion.
What was that? What was that AI companion that like?
Which
clearly
one?
The porny one that I was talking about.
Again, which one?
Again,
There's so many.
Exactly. Again, which one? I mean, I think we talked about it pretty early on. I don't even remember, but it's just like, this is so fucking like
sad.
I never thought that this part of Cyberpunk would like. I thought that this was unrealistic for some reason.
Here's the thing.
Like, why would people want robotic versions of real people?
I've just been thinking about this
You don't have
entire
to consider
idea
their feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's about control. You'd be able to control.
Yeah, right.
Well, we can't have slaves anymore.
Yeah.
How else can we remove consent and get the thing that we want? Which is just
you are only allowed to fuck
Robots.
a robotic version of myself, only if I am also present.
Perfect.
fair enough.
Yes.
All right.
And I'm not sitting in the cuck chair.
But I'm just thinking about like everybody's afraid of this whole like our nostalgia being fed back to us, this idea of helpless companion stand-ins. This like weird future. The thing that's terrifying about it to me isn't necessarily that like it's happening because like it is genie's out of the bottle. Eventually some writers are going to figure out like a good way to use like a generative AI model or like a large language model or something like that to, I couldn't remember this thing. And they're eventually, maybe they will get accurate enough, but like, we don't have that, mentality of like Internet Archive or like early search engines and stuff like that, where they were literally trying to put you in touch with the thing you were looking for.
Yeah. Like,
I'm going to tell you something.
It's to tell you something. Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff is crap, because I
Yeah.
guarantee to you right now there is someone out there who is an honest to God unironic fan of Willy's Chocolate Adventure. And I mean it's because like if you serve cynical shit up, people will not always know it and become fans of it anyway, and it becomes part of like the stack of the foundation of the norm of the art being made. It might make it easier for something like, say, I don't know, fucking like lard to happen again.
Like
We might see some like weird resurgence of like industrial noise acts that are doing something slightly differently. You know, they're making a different sound, something filling in a different space.
Fun.
Well, no, I bet it's happening, and I just don't know yet because I just haven't found it. You know, and it's as these things become more mechanized, what my friend used to call the chewy liquid center of us is going to be able to like do weird stuff off around the edges of it, and like,
there is always obviously positive potential for every technology that we develop in broad strokes.
I mean, I just think it's always important to remind ourselves in each other that, hey, it's making more room for you in a really strange way. Like, it's okay, well, fine, go shrivel up your own asshole with your like
but the way that
multi-fingered cartoon characters,
with your
no, absolutely.
Sure.
I've been like I think we've all been kind of thinking about that, where it's like we're in a weirdly good spot right now, because to be an artist, to be a writer, to be anything creative right now, you're looking pretty damn good compared to what our competition is.
Not for making a living necessarily, but like the tools are easier to get in a lot of ways. Like the barrier to entry to be a fucking like DoorDash driver is a car, and that's like far more than the stuff you would need to like paint or get a notebook and a pen.
And you know, I would like to see. This is the thing.
Fucking
it's like,
meet people.
Meet people, for the love of God. Like, that's the other thing.
Come to our Discord.
Yes, come to our Discord.
Discord plus.
We are fun. We are fun. It's fine.
So I was reminiscing.
Sure.
On this, something like this just the other day. I was thinking, you know, I first read Dune. Dune's in the movies now. Dune, Shogun, all the dad summer books are being made into movies now. I was thinking Dune. When I first read Dune, I was a teenager, and I read about the Butlerian Jihad and how they said, "You shall not make a machine in the image of a man's mind." And I thought, that sounds terrible. How many, eons of civilization did they miss out on because they didn't have thinking machines? And now I'm an adult, and I'm like, nah, I get it. I get it. Okay. Let's get Butlerian Jihad the fuck out of these AI
but literally
motherfuckers.
The only way that we would be able to like figure out that maybe leaving everything to the machine is not such a great idea is when it fucks up real bad.
Well, it's like here's what these guys are chasing in my just addled fucking brain. It's the same thing every time. It's a general sending a soldier. Okay, the soldier does the killing. That responsibility for the killing stays with the soldier. They're accountable, not the general. Yeah. And these idiots are just trying to make a robot. I mean, there was that old placard that was like, never put a computer completely in charge of anything because it cannot be held accountable.
Yeah.
That's like an old programming thing from like the 60s or 50s or something like that. Like when the earliest computers were coming up, they're like, don't let them make management positions. And these assholes are doing not only that, but they're trying to make it do creative stuff. And it's just like, oh, that is hilarious because you don't understand what that means. Yeah. Like you don't know what it means to fucking make something. You don't know what it means. You haven't lived a normal life. You don't know what people do.
I see so many.
So you can't talk to them.
I do appreciate though.
So out of touch.
Yeah, like I appreciate on like Reddit when someone puts up like AI art in one of the groups, like punk groups or whatever the fuck I'm in, and people just rip into them. They're like, yeah, but I put a lot of passion into those prompts. That's the reply that they have is I put a lot of work and passion into these prompts.
Congratulations, man!
I
had to turn my phone off.
Put a lot of passion into my morning shit because I'm getting older and I need that. But here's the thing: if it takes you an afternoon or a weekend to come up with an AI masterpiece, I have a bunch of friends who beat the fuck out of you for you if you want. Like they'll just because I mean it's hard.
Yeah.
Like, it's supposed to be. Here's the thing that I really loved. I think it was Guillermo del Toro did that Pinocchio film, which is fantastic. Okay, can't recommend it enough. And there was a behind the scenes thing on it where he said something fucking brilliant, and it was something that like it's happening, but you don't know it's happening. It's such a amazing like thing. It's have your characters make mistakes when you're doing something like stop motion animation.
Yeah.
Have them do a human thing. There was a character where like just Geppetto was he went to reach for a stick or something that was on the ground, and he fumbled and then grabbed it. And I'm sitting here going like, they animated that every frame of that.
Yeah.
And it looked natural, and that's art.
That's human.
Yeah.
And to do that because you're human and you observe people in their element, not some abstract telling of it. That's why all this ChatGPT stuff sounds so fucked up. It's like
it's not even, well, it's not an accurate portrayal of reality. It's the internet, which is hyper reality.
Somebody gave it House of Leaves, man. It's over.
Yeah.
Shit's over. Why would you fuck with that? They gave it Stand on Zanzibar. It's over. Why would you do that?
God, I mean,
some Cormac McCarthy. You think that's how you want people to be treated? Dude, got some bad news.
No, the AI is going to be like, no, Blood Meridian's a good idea.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we already got enough people in the real
that's-
world building the Torment Nexus for us. So
yeah, I mean, that's what
pretty
we're
much.
talking about. We're talking about people who
You got it, yeah.
basically operate on this principle that machines are better than people because or they can be smarter than people, and you know what, maybe they might end up having the same amount of intelligence, but the people who really believe in it, I don't know, I really don't think that you're
Dude, run
that
a
right.
machine on the cost of a Big Mac and fries and a large drink per day.
What was that? Zero, you posted a meme at one point, I think, that summed it up really well. Like, you put a machine into like a general management position, and then you declare it to have self-awareness, when in reality you don't realize that maybe it was the general manager that was not self-aware.
Yeah.
So, oh man,
you got to build a good team, man. For all its faults, Abraham Lincoln actually had a very contentious cabinet.
Yeah.
They weren't all friends.
No.
He did that on purpose. It ain't great, but it's also respectable. And like you need someone to tell you no. You need someone who's an expert in the field beyond your ken.
Yeah.
And you have to recognize that and trust that.
well, it's just been, it's been like
Don't have
150 years of fucking shit. Like, just
don't have yes men. Don't have a robot that just like tells you everything you want to hear, because that's
yeah.
That's
But
incorrect.
then you don't get all the toys and all the money.
I don't want treats. I want food and water.
Yeah, you're not going to get the Lambo that way, buddy.
Yeah.
Everything's falling apart.
I don't know. There was some, I think it was like, I don't know if it was Aesop Rock or somebody, but they were like, yo, man, you don't have to be like my fan to be my friend. Like, and that's a thing that they don't have.
Yeah.
And they've never had, and like most of them, again, we're speaking generalizations here, most of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it comes through again and again when you look at their personal lives and autobiographies and people that have like known them. And just
Sociopaths, like no personality.
Well,
I really-
I mean, it doesn't.
Maybe not
it's just-
sociopath, but
I know how I get when I get a little extra money. when I got a PS5, I was just like, that's right. I'm better than the me that existed 4 hours ago. It's dumb. I don't know why we do
still
that.
have
It's
that,
our
though,
brains.
'cause we
Our brains do that.
Yeah, we don't have a lot
Yeah.
of money. We're allowed. Okay.
Yeah.
But like if I had a, like unlimited like path to get everything that I wanted, every whim fulfilled at any given moment, that shit would get boring as fuck.
yeah,
Don't you think?
Goddamn.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
because you're not. I've learned from having like good days and good years and bad years.
Yeah.
My bad years,
Listen,
I did a lot
you need
of.
to have that negative. Like, you need to have the negative to have the positive.
That's where you learn how to make your fun.
Yeah.
And then when you get a little bit of air,
This
that's
is
when you
why
apply
hard
those
work-
lessons.
Well, this is why hard work actually is an important thing to do.
Yeah.
There was a point I wanted to make earlier, though. Like, just talking about how we've got these, image generators and shit. Like these people who are trying to create human creativity. And like,
I think
the reason that people get paid to do this kind of stuff is because our brains do not function otherwise in modern society. Like
just talk to an artist asking for a commission.
Yeah, we're still
a person telling them what they want will be more direct and able to explain themselves than entering those prompts into ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Having done both, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just tell the guy what you want. He will ask you questions back.
Yeah, there's no competition. It's not even close.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, that bubble's going to pop. Because first of all, it's not AI. There's no intelligence. There's no decision making. There's none of that. It's just algorithms based on inputs, in
calculator.
A massive scale.
Calculator.
Yeah, it's the plagiarism calculator.
And what are human beings other than you could make that argument.
Gadget,
but
man. It ain't going away. It's a gadget. We're going to be fucking with it. But
yeah, we're going to keep developing it, and that's why they need to scam so many people. Is because with this ChatGPT shit is that keeps their business alive, so they can develop real AI in the future, theoretically. Anyways, if they have the ambition to get past that, to
I don't think so.
Staring at their golden idols right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, cause I don't think so, because that would actually be interesting. A lot of this just has to do with we started this episode, scams and money.
Yeah. Well, they think it's about scaling. They think it's about power. They think it's about chips, but really it's about use. What are you going to fucking use this thing for? What are you going to use it for? Because what people are using it for now? Cheating.
Yeah.
On fucking papers. I'm not going to start a whole other episode. Let's.
No, you're right. And we've been, we.
As the list builds in my mind, I'm not going to just start shouting out all the things. And there are good applications of AI too. Don't get me wrong. There's vaccines, material structures, but maybe that's what we should be developing it, and not to make porn pics of them in the holograms.
Yeah. God.
It's eventually they're going to fix the fingers thing. And the boobs, she has 12 boobs and they're on her shoulders, it's.
Well, thank God.
Oh God.
I just, there is almost something extremely beautiful about that, splinter fetish that's going to break off of this. But just dudes not going to be able to fuck until they got, they're going to make new gear where you like put on this thing that's like a glove, but it just adds fingers to the top of your knuckles.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like tits to your shoulders.
Sure. Why not? Why not? You know,
Yeah. I know where you're at.
Incongruous nipple somewhere.
Sure. Look, I mean, if everybody's into cord, go for it. I don't care. Because shit. You know what I mean? Just don't do it to people who don't want it. It's fine. That's the math. It always adds up like that.
Yep.
But nope, they got to make a machine. And
so far, AI is not replacing porn stars that we know of.
Not to everyone, but I'm telling you, that's happening.
Maybe in Texas and the other states will get Pornhub now. Maybe that's where they'll be developing it.
Some weird, like, pretzel-limbed dude who's like bent over backwards, looking hairy, covered in actual crabs, not the medical situation.
Crustaceans.
Because ChatGPT don't know the difference. And
before we open that door of eldritch horror,
Jimmy Buffett's there. It's on a beach. The guy's wearing boxers somehow, but his legs are just pretzeled up. It's just like little bulges of muscle that wrap around his back, and his feet are next to his head.
How'd you get that kind of surveillance on him? Bullshit.
He's got the face of, like, it's kind of Elvis.
All right.
It's kind of the kid that played Elvis.
Okay.
I've been doing this too long today. Okay. I can keep doing this, man. I can make this we could take it to the fucking 2 hours. I can just
let's oh man. My brain.
Summon fucking Cthulhu right now.
Hit the button.
Oh yeah, so we have a website and
we do. It's beyonddystopia.com. We're going to be adding stuff to it. It's been slow going. A lot of bad shit happened to basically all of us all at the same time. So things have been a little slow.
Yeah.
However, it is up. We're going to submission guidelines are going to get hammered out this week. So if you're a writer listening to this and you want to muse on the nature of the future and cyberpunk and basically your take on it, you'll have an opportunity.
Much like a tumor in King Charles, it grows.
Yeah, you'll be able to give us some shit. We'll have a little bit of scratch in it for you. Not a lot because we're also broke, but hopefully in the future that will increase, which is what we're hoping.
Right, and the way we kind of work on that and helps to put a little kitty together so we can pay writers is our Patreon.
Yes, that's where the money goes. Yeah, to pay for more content.
It's
pretty much. We're finally at that point where we're like, okay.
Yeah,
like that. Now we can get a writer in here at least once or twice a month, and
we could afford it now thanks to you guys. So
again, we're let us temper your expectations. It's not a lot of money, but it's going to get some visibility.
It's better than nothing,
and we'll get there. We'll have you back and stuff. I don't know. Have you?
We have a long-term plan. Trust us, but it all depends on your dollars and whatnot. So
a lot of improv, a lot of scheduling.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to make the telephone episode. I swear to God.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Watch, it's going to be like 10 episodes.
It's going to be 10 hours long, yeah.
Does anyone know anything about hooking analog telephones up to Zencastr? Reach out to me.
Yeah, I want one. There's this really great band here called Sheila, the band. And they do like fucking anime theme songs occasionally in part of their sets.
Nice.
And they're really good. And one of them, I know the song and I cannot remember I think it's the song from Lane. I think she sings into a phone.
Yeah.
Cool. It's dope as shit.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, the Boa song, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sure. Yeah. I was like, the first time I saw them live and they started playing that, I was like, I fucking love Lane.
Oh, yeah. I think I saw that at the clip.
I think I posted that video of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really nice.
They were great. Yeah, no, there's got to be a way to plug it into because we have DI boxes, not DI boxes. We have like audio boxes, basically like mini mixers. I have a mixer.
Yeah,
I basically need a phone to run into. Yeah, no, it should work if you can get one wired to fit into a 1/4-inch jack.
I like how we're trying to figure this out like live. Like,
this is meeting, right? Okay.
Yeah, this is a meeting. Yeah, we're not recording. This isn't.
It's basically a meeting. I think you just need an active input. I think, and hopefully it doesn't burn.
No.
You're telling me I can hook up like a police scanner or something?
No, I think I've seen them on. I think I've seen them on 1/4-inch jacks, and I do have a police scanner too. If you want.
Yeah, hook it up to Zencastr. See what happens. Fuck it.
That's dope as shit.
Why not?
There was an artist. I think I may have mentioned even on this podcast before who played Iota once, named Bob Log the Third, and he was a real nice guy, and I didn't know where he went. It was like time for his set to start, and then I heard the guitar, and I'm looking around this packed room, and I don't know where the fuck he is. I'm like behind the bar, like where the fuck does he just do that? He was like outside putting on this black onesie. We had like black rhinestones on it, and he was just like kind of mute, palming his guitar the whole way in, and his helmet, he had a fucking motorcycle helmet on that had a telephone as the microphone, and he would just sing into that through a wireless pack on his helmet.
Thanks.
So I know it's possible. Being as awesome as him, probably not as possible. All right, we're done. That's podcast.
I don't know. Maybe we get some rhinestone suits for the whole crew. What do you say?
Ooh,
like a rhinestone cow.